Okay.
Welcome back.
Hi.
You can start us off.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Crossing China and the Tesla version in USA.
Tesla version USA, Crossing China.
Yeah.
So thanks, Mom. Thank you for deciding that you want to sit here and have a chat with me today. Basically, I want to talk to my mom today about her experience driving an electric car, in particular a Tesla Model Y performance version that she got, but her experience in general with an electric car. I've seen a lot of YouTube channels, and my mom's been watching a lot of YouTube channels as well. A lot of people are more like cutting edge people. They're tech savvy, younger generally, that have YouTube channels and electric cars. But I want to kind of understand my mom's experience of owning an electric car so far, as you're the kind of, I think, ideal future consumer. You're suburban, have a house with a garage. You have the money to afford an electric car, all that sort of thing. So I just want to talk about your experience.
Okay.
So let's do that today.
Okay.
First is, why did you choose to go from an internal combustion car, obviously, to an electric car recently?
All right. So because you piqued my interest, well, a couple things. I was retiring in March, and so that opened up my time frame to start looking at where I was going to go with the rest of my life. And then you purchased your NIO in China, and you did the Crossing China trip, which I found quite fascinating, and all of your experiences with the battery swap and just the charging stations with NIO I thought was really fascinating. So it made me want a NIO, actually.
But I mean, we can talk more about like NIO and Tesla later. Because your experience here obviously is going to be very different from my experience in China.
Right.
But so when you were considering, I guess, getting a new car, did you have any trepidation or fear of choosing an electric car here in America?
Well, just in general, you know me, I'm always anxious about a lot of things, but I was very, nervous about the technology, and I wouldn't have done it if you weren't here to help me, because I didn't have enough confidence in my technology skills to get the car going and understand everything. And especially since it's paperless, touchless, whatever, you're pretty much on your own when you get the car. So I knew that. So that I thought was scary, but I wanted to do it with you. And I did want to go to an electric vehicle. I mean, I've been tracking on them, but I just wasn't sure the time was going to be right for me unless you were here, to be honest with you.
So now that you've made the transition, has it been everything you've expected, or what have you encountered that is not what you expected? Or
well, I didn't really know what to expect, but I like it, that's for sure. I find it a little nerve-wracking when the app doesn't work and it's spinning out of control and I didn't know what to do. And
you're talking about the cell phone app.
Yeah, the app on the cell phone, which is your Tesla app that does lots of things for you, and just the technology, trying to find things in my computer screen and in the Tesla, going through all that was a learning curve, and it still is.
So you mentioned that you've had some trouble with the app. Can you explain that? I don't want to speak for you.
Well, it just, one day I was out and I was checking it, and it just didn't function. And so I looked it up to try to see what I was supposed to do.
Can you tell us what was not functioning?
It just, normally when you go on the app, it takes a little while to update, and then it updates. It tells you where the car is. You can look up all
where the car is, how much power it has, if it's locked,
all
that
those
stuff.
Things.
But it was frozen.
It was frozen. It was spinning like any computer does. And so I looked in my phone to ask the questions about what to do. And I thought I'd already rebooted my phone. I thought that was it. That didn't change anything. It also told me to delete the app and put it back in there, but that made me nervous, because when I pressed the button, then it said you're gonna get rid of all your information or whatever. So since Eric was still here, I sent him a text on WeChat, and he looked it up and told me I had to go out to the car and actually reboot the whole computer in the car.
And you do that by holding the two buttons on the steering wheel.
Right, which I had learned in my videos before I ever purchased the car.
Okay. So that's one kind of
Mm-hmm.
like learning experience or pain point that you've
Yeah.
had experience with an electric car that you obviously never had with a regular
Right.
car. Have you had any others?
Not really, but I was concerned this weekend because of the horrific storms we had and electrical power going out, not knowing if it's going where it was going to go out, if it was going to go out where we landed in the Bay Area, and if we needed to charge up the vehicle there, or if it's going to go out here in Modesto, because I had seen different notes on my neighborhood postings that the electricity
What is
was
it,
out.
Nextdoor app?
Nextdoor app.
Yeah.
So that was a concern, even though I knew we were fine on the charge, at that moment. Just, if
So you
if the
basically
electric-
have concerns about if the grid goes out or if there's a
Yes.
big storm.
Yes.
Speaking of, okay, that sort of thing, have you found any issues like going and charging at Tesla superchargers or anything like that? Are you satisfied with how many there are and the quality of them? And
So far, we haven't had to use them too much, but on our, because I have the charger at my house right now, but on our trips, it was no problem.
so, I mean, even if your power was out at your house because there was a storm for a couple of days, you feel confident that you'd be able to go charge your car somewhere else, or you?
I don't know I don't know.
I mean, if
because
the whole
there's only
right.
one in Modesto,
Right.
and so if our whole grid's out, that would be tough.
Yeah. So if the whole city's out, then you're screwed.
Yeah.
But if the whole city has no power, you're probably not going anywhere anyway.
Yeah, that's probably true.
In this, we don't live in a place with massive hurricanes and flooding and stuff necessarily.
No, but we have had our share of high winds.
Yeah, but if you were, say, living in like Louisiana or something where there might be a massive flood and you need to get out of the area, like
Right.
it might be a real concern to you. But I think that here you probably don't really need to be super duper concerned necessarily.
I'm not. I think most of the time I wouldn't be, but
Right.
I think it could come up. And my oldest sister certainly asked that question of me when I told her I'd purchased a Tesla.
So she's worried.
She's worried about how to find electrical charging if the electrical grid goes out.
But they're very much old school kind of people.
Yes, I guess.
I mean, do you think I know Uncle Bob loves gadgets and stuff,
Yeah.
but do you think he'd be interested in moving away from an
Probably not at this time. I
Or-
mean, not at this time in his life.
right? I mean, he's getting up there in the years.
Right. So it's a valid concern. So I think, my other fear is just if there's some kind of hiccup with the car where the electric, for whatever reason, it doesn't, let me in the car, doesn't start. I mean, I guess doesn't start isn't the right terminology for electric vehicle, but.
I mean, they still have to start and turn on
but
and go.
I mean, that's
I mean,
it.
you have had other experiences where the computer thing is frozen, right? So that's been, in the beginning it happened quite a bit, right? But it hasn't happened anymore.
That's because we were trying to look at the owner's manual on the screen.
Right. So
and
in the
it-
car, in the Tesla, there's an owner's manual inside the
computer's-
onboard computer.
It's not
But
in a book. It's not in a book.
Right.
Look
It's
at
not in a book. It's in the car, and when you go to that, it freezes like
It froze
probably
multiple-
50% of the time,
multiple
or
times.
40% of the time, or something. Not all the time. So sometimes you can look up what you need to look up if you want to learn about the car. But there have been times where it froze, and then you were also lucky the first time you remembered because you had watched the
I'd
videos,
watched my videos.
to study how to how to operate the Tesla. She knew how to restart the Tesla
How to
onboard
reboot it,
computer
yeah.
or whatever.
Which is kind of nerve-wracking too, because it goes dark and then it's kind of like your cell phone, but it takes forever. It seems like for it to come back up. Just kind of bunk down here. But anyway,
But
So-
overall, I mean, those are your, I guess, primary concerns or issues or problems with the car so far. Has there been anything else?
right. So there's not been really anything else. I mean, I've loved driving it. It's been great. But me, my worry, because Eric's going to be going back to China soon, is just driving and having like something go wrong with the tires, or some weird thing where I'm out in like up in the mountains or somewhere bizarre because you don't have any spare tires.
But I mean, that could happen with any car. A problem could happen with any car.
Right, of course.
So, have you had anything like specifically that you really like about having an electric car?
Well, I just think it's really fun to drive. I like not purchasing gas or worrying about that oil that we had to get for my other car before we sold it.
So especially now, gas is like $5 a gallon here.
It's not that much.
It's getting high, yeah.
Anyway,
Because you used to get the
I got
like the medium
350 or
one,
something, or 4.
but it's like $4.79, $4.89,
Right.
$4.99 now here in California. So it's getting up there.
Right. I like it. It's so quiet, and it just,
Yeah.
goes. It's very, very quiet. It's really, really nice. I enjoy driving it. And our long distance trip that we took, like when I drove all the way back, it was like a 4-hour trip, was really, really comfortable. Actually driving it, more comfortable than my other car was. That's how
For
I
a long
found it.
distance trip.
For just the seat, for my ergonomically.
So
or
that's
whatever.
specifically for this Tesla, is you feel like it's a very comfortable.
It was very
car.
comfortable for me. It was more comfortable for driving that many hours straight through, pretty much. It was more comfortable than my other car.
So are there any things about the Tesla specifically that you wish were different, or that you would like to add in the future, if possible?
Yeah, I mean, which they are doing, but moving the screen over in front of you, like in
So
the
that's
NIO. What's
like
it
a Model
called?
X or a
Yeah,
Model S.
The
They
ones
have
that I
that.
couldn't afford, or the newer
Yeah.
ones.
So you find the center console kind of screen in a poor location?
Right. I mean, I'm getting used to it, but it does take your eye off the road.
Mhm.
You can still do some of the controls with voice command, which, I've gotten used to some of that. But whenever I mean, even when you're driving and you lean over to do something on that screen, it's not that easy. And it is, I mean, I personally have to make myself look over there. I kind of forget it's there, but when I need to find out something or change the channels or whatever.
Do you have any issues with lack of physical buttons?
No,
No?
no.
Okay.
I like all the things that work automatically, and hopefully they will continue to do so. So
Like
I don't
the-
like the windshields, the lights, they all work automatically.
So I would just say I'm going to make a review at some point of the Tesla, my thoughts on it. But I would say that I do miss having just like at least one physical button, like a home button that will like clear out everything on the screen. Like if you have the music up or any of those things up, you have to like physically choose, like if the music menu's up, you have to click the music button.
Right.
If the what else is there? There's
Like temperature control.
temperature, you
and
push the
stuff like
temperature
that.
button again.
Yeah.
Like you have to always push the same one. There's no like home universal close everything button just to bring everything back up, which I think there should be. If not a button, a control, maybe I'm missing that, like a voice control, maybe like close, minimize all the windows or whatever they're called. I'm not sure, but I've because sometimes I want just close everything so the map is back up, right? But you have to figure out which little menu is open, basically. It's not complicated, it's not hard, but if there was just like a universal one, I think it'd be better.
Isn't that when you just hit the X and it moves it down?
Well, sometimes there's an X. Like the cameras, there's an X in the corner.
Yeah.
But if you have the music, there's no X. You have to either swipe it down or push the little music notes again.
Right.
Right. So there's no like consistency for how to close everything. I just think if there was like one standard button, that would be very useful in my opinion.
Yeah, well, one thing is that if you have your cameras up and you're backing out, and you're looking at your backward, but then you have your passenger messing with everything, it takes away your backward view.
Yeah, like if I try to change the radio while she's backing up, but you can still look at the mirrors, but they are quite small.
But the mirrors are small. The mirrors aren't great. I am getting used to it, but so the mirrors are small, and my brother did have us put in the what's it called,
The little tiny concave or convex mirrors concave, I guess.
that help with your blind spot. I think it's a blind spot
Convex,
mirror.
yeah.
So we have that.
Yeah.
That helps.
So, can you tell me why you ended up choosing a Tesla as opposed to like a Mach-E from Ford or a Volvo?
Because the Tesla is the only one I knew about, and I wanted the best one that I could purchase.
The best one you could afford?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And you went and looked at a couple of the others and
Yeah.
said they were not up to par, and so I didn't see any reason to waste my time, because obviously Teslas.
Yeah, I did go take a look at some other cars. I didn't get to see the Mach-E from Ford, which I wanted to, but they didn't have any. But I went to VW and Kia and Audi. but I think for the price and everything, the one I told my mom to get, she wanted like an SUV or crossover type. I mean, the only other real one I would have wanted to see was the Volvo, which we saw when we were at that Target, and looked pretty nice. But yeah, so you just chose Tesla because it's probably, I guess, got the best marketing. I guess probably everybody knows it, and they have the best technology here in the States. There's not really that many options.
Right.
Is there any like major big difference between this car and driving an internal combustion engine car? Like,
yeah, I can't go through the car wash.
you can,
but not easily, and they
because
don't really
there's no like
recommend
you have to push a car wash mode or something.
Yeah, and then it's complicated, and then because of the paint, the kind of paint it is, they don't really recommend it. So I am learning to hand wash it myself with the optimal no rinse.
Okay.
It's what I've tried a couple times, and actually it's worked pretty
pretty
well, and
easy,
it doesn't
right?
take that long. So
It seems like the car stays pretty clean too.
yeah, so I'm
I
gonna
don't
try.
know if they-
Gonna try that, especially now that I'm retired. I have time to go out and wash my car myself, whereas before it would have been tough. So that's different. But
Good. Okay.
what was the question?
I forgot already. Oh, biggest difference between that and
Oh.
so I guess
Just gas and just the.
What about like
noise
1
level?
foot driving?
And
or,
then 1 foot, yeah, which it's seamless. I mean, I don't even think about it now.
Yeah.
That change happens really quick.
You get used to it. So I know a lot of people are very worried about like 1 foot driving. I've read about that online. People are like, I don't know if I can get used to it. But how long did it take?
A day, not much. It was seamless. I
Yeah.
mean, when we drove home from the dealer, I was a mess, and I was like herky jerky and didn't take it off, But I would say then the next day, because I wasn't as nervous anymore, it's seamless.
Yeah.
I
You get used to it
think.
really quick.
Yeah.
And then I drove my brother's truck the other day in Seattle, a gas truck, right? I haven't driven a gas car in quite a while. Like, I mean, I drove
You drove my
your car, but
yeah.
it's been, 2 months now.
Yeah.
And that was it was interesting. I mean, you get used to that really quickly too, but you
Right.
just have to kind of just quickly like realize, oh, it's different. But it's easy.
Right.
It's not, if anybody's on the fence about like, oh, should I get an electric car? I'm worried about like 1 foot driving. If it's Tesla, you don't have to worry about it. If my mom can figure it out.
Thanks. Oh, well, the other thing is as a passenger in the front seat, there's tons of leg room.
Right. In the back seat too.
Yeah, I haven't ridden in the back
Yeah.
seat, but there's like tons of room. So that's definitely
That's way
different.
better than any traditional car where you have so much space in an electric car. Have I already asked you what your favorite thing about a Tesla is?
No,
What's your favorite thing about driving a Tesla?
I'm not really sure. I do like plugging in the charger in my garage. That is really cool.
Yeah, it's like having your own gas station.
Yeah, only it's not gas. It's just the comfort and the noiseless, and I like the high tech. I mean, it's I don't know. It's nice. I mean, I'm not a really person that has worried too much about cars before, and because I'm not a car person, so
No, me too.
so it's not like I have anything spectacular to say about it other than that so far I really like it. I like.
So
how
on a
electric-
scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied would you say you are with Tesla?
I would say 8,
It's pretty good.
somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there.
I'd love to, trial a NIO. I'd love to have a battery swap.
People say I'm a NIO Shill. My mom's a NIO Shill over here.
I want that
But you don't
NIO.
necessarily need a battery swap
I
here.
know.
But on like a trip to the Bay Area or something, if you
Yeah.
could go swap while you're in the Bay Area and then come back down here without ever having to
Yeah,
charge, that would be
that's
pretty
one
nice.
thing. It seems like, well, at least my car, it doesn't have such range that
Yeah.
because it's the.
So she got the performance model, which I think they say about 290 miles of range.
It doesn't do that.
But that's also one thing I've noticed, I guess I can say now, is in the United States, people drive very fast. In California, people drive very fast. And any electric car is going to get like severely
Yes.
reduced mileage when you're driving 80, 85 miles an hour. So like in China, my car, I got about 290 miles in one charge with my car on the highway. But that's because I'm going 100 kilometers an hour most of the time, which is like 60 miles per hour.
Mm-hmm.
But here in California, like if you're going 60 miles an hour on the highway, then you're like in the truck lane, and everybody's mad at you.
Right.
So I mean, we're going 75, 80 most
Yeah.
of the time.
You're going over.
I'm going
over
75,
80,
80.
and I'm telling him I don't want to get a ticket.
She's saying slow down,
Saying
but everybody else is
because
going the same speed or
it's,
faster.
I know, but it seems, and that's one thing in the Tesla, you don't really even realize you're going that fast.
Yeah.
It's so smooth. But
So you get about probably, if you were to take it 100 to 0, it'd probably be like 210 miles, maybe 200.
I would say barely.
Yeah, it's
And
around.
It's dicey.
And that's going highway the whole time. But if you're driving in the city and you didn't charge up every day, you just
Yeah.
drove, you'd probably get quite a few more miles than that. Or if you were driving 55 or 60 on the highway, like I do in China.
Mm.
So that's just one of those things. So you wish that your car had more mileage.
I do.
Yeah.
I think I should be able to go to San Francisco and back and not worry. And I think when that's not going to happen, I'm going to have to.
That would be 200 miles.
Yeah, it's too close. So we got to
Yeah.
fuel up, not fuel up, but charge up.
Yeah, just but you top it off
Yeah,
for 10 minutes.
So
and you're
yeah,
good to
so
go.
that's one thing that's cool because that's what we did when we went to San Francisco a week ago or so. We just topped off on the after the bridge, and that worked out well.
Yeah, and we only did it for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and then-
it's just moved it up like 10.
Yeah. So and like you said before, you're more than satisfied with how many supercharger stations there are around for
so
now.
far.
Here in California, so that's all good.
There should be more in Modesto, but and then Monica, my niece who lives in Clovis on the other side of Fresno, which is on the way to the cabin, said that they just put in a new station, Tesla charging station, supercharger near where she lives, so that's closer to the cabin, so that's
that'll be
good.
perfect.
Because otherwise, it's like on the other side of Fresno, near the freeway.
So that would be a big adventure
that's good.
when we eventually get to take it up to the cabin, which I would have liked to be able to do, but maybe next year.
I hope so.
So that'll be
I
fun.
hope you come back. Yeah.
I mean, I'll come back as long as the world.
Let you come back.
Yeah, as long as the world doesn't become even more of a disaster. So,
Yeah.
do you have anything else you want to add, or?
I don't think so. I'm definitely enjoying it, and it's been great having Eric here to help me with it. Because again, I wouldn't have done it without him. That's for darn sure.
So I guess I should ask you then one more thing is,
Yeah.
if you were a person like yourself
Yes.
and you didn't have a kid to come help you, but you were considering to upgrade to an electric car, would you recommend other people do that, or would you say it's too much hassle, too stressful, too much worry? What would you say?
If it was me, I would say it's too stressful. I don't need it that badly, and I wouldn't have done it on my own.
But your brother was able to do it, because
My-
her brother also got
My
a Tesla.
brother is older than me, but he's also
He's an
high
engineer.
tech, and
He's
he's
a-
an engineer, and he's
Right.
like mucho suave, very
Right, but
smart.
I mean, he didn't have a kid to help him.
No, but he doesn't need a kid to help him. So you said like me, and I'm not like him.
Okay.
I'm a nurse, and he's an engineer. We have different.
So somewhere in the middle, if there's a person,
Sorry.
if there's a person somewhere in the middle, just like between your brother and you,
Probably
not
could-
an engineer, but
Yeah.
also not,
Yeah.
completely oblivious about
Yeah.
technology,
I could probably do it.
they can figure it out.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you are a person out there that's worried about, what might happen if you buy an EV, and you're stressed about it, considering it, I think if my mom can do it, you can definitely do it. And
I mean, I probably could have done it on my own, but I would have been way too stressed out. It wouldn't have been worth it. I would have been massively stressed. So somewhere in between Patrick and myself, they can do it.
I'm sure
Definitely.
Patrick's watching, so hi Patrick. He's one of my subscribers. I think he
Alright.
subscribes. He watches,
Oh, okay.
right? I mean, he told me he watches.
Yeah, and that's the other reason why I got the Tesla too. The Tesla why? Because I got to test drive the Tesla in at the cabin up in the
Mm-hmm.
mountains, and which was a surprise that they showed up with their Tesla because they had just purchased it.
You
The why.
you didn't know they were buying it?
I don't believe so. I mean, I knew at some point, but not in advance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then Monica's gonna get a Tesla soon too.
She
so
will. She'll get the.
our whole family's gonna have
she'll
Teslas.
have the fanciest.
She's gonna buy a Model S
fanciest
with the
fanciest.
yoke.
I do have to say that I have definitely noticed more Teslas now, which of course I wasn't watching for them
Right,
before.
they're everywhere
but
now.
they are everywhere. Yeah, she's gonna get fix it so that it's a whole thing.
She's not gonna.
half yoke.
She's gonna take off the yoke.
Yeah,
Okay.
something like that. That's what she said.
Well,
Yep.
Well, all right. So
Okay.
thank you, Mom, of course, for everything.
Yeah, thank you,
Not
Eric.
just this interview, but letting me drive your Tesla around and giving me a place to sleep for a few months. And so I'm going back to China, and maybe we can try to incorporate my mom in more future videos. We'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see. Get like monthly updates on how the Tesla is doing for her or
that's
something.
true.
We'll
Yeah.
see. So anyway, thanks for
Yeah,
watching, and
thank you. Thanks for coming home.
tell them to subscribe or whatever, Mom.
Oh, subscribe, smash the button, do whatever you're supposed to do. Follow Eric or follow Crossing China.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah, mostly stay safe, be healthy, and be good to everyone. That's my message.
She's still a nurse at heart.
Yes, absolutely. I am a nurse. Forever.
And at heart. So.
Yes.
All right. Bye-bye,
All right,
people.
bye.
Thanks, Mom.